Hello, mortals, and welcome everyone to another Cabal Vision broadcast. Jim, I had a peasant come up to me today and ask, "What's Blood Bowl?" Really? Yeah, really. And I'm not ashamed to say that I killed him where he stood. But once the rage subsided and I could think straight again, I wondered how many others like him had never heard of the game we all love. Well, I guess we should tell them all about it then. Sounds like a great idea, Jim. I'd hate to have to kill anyone else like that.
Hello, and welcome to the world of Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl is a tabletop game made by Games Workshop that you win by scoring more touchdowns than your opponent. The players on the pitch are represented by miniatures, and the effect of their actions is decided by the human coach rolling some dice. These dice are standard D6s, D8s, and a special 6-sided blocking dice, which are used for hitting people, which is known as blocking. Blood Bowl has been around in various forms since the late 80s, but changed substantially in the 3rd edition in the early 90s with the introduction of the block dice, which have been around since then. There are 24 different teams you can choose from, including the basic fantasy races of humans, orcs, elves and dwarves, to Warhammer races of Skaven lizardmen and undead, as well as the frog-like Slan, the Amazons and many more. Some of these teams like to score by running and passing the ball past the other team, others by making sure there are not enough opponents left on the pitch to stop them. A game lasts for 2 halves, and each coach has 8 turns in each half, recorded in the dugout. The basics of the game are the stat line, blocking, agility rolls, skills, rerolls, turnovers and actions. Every player has a basic stat line of move, strength, agility and armour. A standard human lineman has move 6, strength 3, agility 3 and armour 8. So if a player has a higher stat than that, it's good. Less than that is bad. The move is simply how many squares a player can move, including diagonally. When you're hitting someone else, you compare the strength of the 2 characters, and when you're doing anything involving the ball or getting away from players, use your agility. If you get knocked over, your armour comes into play. Blocking is fundamental to the game. When one player hits another, a block dice is rolled. A power result knocks the defender back and down. A push result pushes the defender back. A both down result means that both players fall over, and a skull knocks the attacker over. If you are stronger than your opponent, you roll 2 dice and choose which one you want. If you're more than twice as strong, you roll 3 dice and choose. If your opponent is stronger, you roll 2 dice and the other coach chooses, and similarly for more than twice as strong. When you do something using your agility, you roll a standard D6. You subtract your agility from 7 and need to roll this or higher after modifications are taken into account. There are only a few different agility tests, so these rolls are very quick to learn. Almost all players start with some skills, and as players develop over a series of games, they get more skills, becoming superstars and legends as they improve. There are 78 different skills, so the player's eventual abilities are massively varied, but the most important are block, dodge, and those that allow rerolls. Block and dodge affect the block dice, in that if a player has block, it does not get knocked down on a both down result, and if a player has dodge, it changes this power result into a push result. Dodge also allows a reroll if you're moving away from an opposition player. Reroll skills mean that when you roll the dice and get a result you don't want, usually ones or skulls, but hopefully not this many, you can roll the dice once again. In addition, you also have a number of team rerolls, which can be used on any player, and you're allowed to use one of these per turn. One good reason to use rerolls is to avoid turnovers. If something goes wrong on your turn, such as one of your players falling over or dropping the ball, your turn ends immediately, so risk management is an important part of the game. You manage risk by taking safe actions first, such as moving, which can't go wrong, and progress to risky actions such as blocking and letting your opponent choose the dice. Each player gets 1 action per turn. As many players as you want can block or move, and then there are special moves that can only happen once per team turn. Passing, handing off, fouling and blitzing, which is when you move and block in the same turn. Those are the basics of the game of Blood Bowl, and hopefully you'll want to find out more. The current rulebook is called the Competition Rules Pack, and can be found on the Specialist Games section of the Games Workshop website. To find out about the Blood Bowl community, as seen here at the Blood Bowl World Cup, head to the naf.net, which is the home of Tournament Blood Bowl. The online community can also be found at talkfantasyfootball.org. This video was put together by Sano638, the NAF media officer, who can often be found in all these places or at a UK Blood Bowl tournament. Hope to see you on the field soon.